नमः। ॐ श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः। ॐ श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। सदाशिवसमारम्भाम् शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ताम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वाम् अनुसन्ददामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम्। यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः। ध्यानावस्थितदत्कदेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनो यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः। देवाय तस्मै नमः। देवाय तस्मै नमः। In our life, when we are faced with difficult situations we encounter, we go through various emotions. Sometimes the situations are overwhelming. We become nervous. Sometimes it leads to nervous breakdown. We are afraid, frightened, we are deluded. Sometimes all kinds of imagination, hallucinations prop up in our mind. All that results in confusion about our duty. What course of action should I take at this juncture? We are confused. Invariably, we come to the wrong conclusion, wrong decision. And the result is shoka and moha, grief and delusion. This is what happened to Arjuna. We saw that elaborately in the first chapter. And the beginning of the second chapter, he finally came to his senses. He surrendered to Bhagavan at the feet of the Lord and said, "O Lord, take me as your disciple. Teach me." And then began the teaching in the second chapter. Bhagavan began the teaching with Jnana Yoga, Atma Jnana, self-knowledge. That's what he gave. He said, Ashocyan anvashochastvam pragyavadamscha bhashase gatasun agatasunschya nanushocanti panditaha. The main statement being panditaha na anushocanti. Wise people do not grieve, do not continue to grieve in life. They go through these emotions, all right, but they don't continue with that. So, Sri Krishna emphasized this point throughout. And he clearly pointed out that wisdom alone is the remedy for the problem of grief and delusion. Ignorance alone is the problem. So this is the foundation of Vedanta. Ajnanat dukkham, jnanat sukham. Due to ignorance, we suffer. With knowledge, we will be happy. Ignorance causes sorrow. Knowledge gives happiness, freedom from sorrow. Thus, Bhagavan has emphasized jnana, knowledge, in the very beginning of his teaching. At the end of the second chapter also, we just saw a couple of weeks back, he stressed jnana again. And we had looked elaborately at the sthita prajna, the wise man established in that knowledge. In glorious terms, we discussed that also. And he concluded by saying, Yesha brahmi sthitih partha nainam prapya vimuyati sthitvastyam antakalepi brahma nirvanam ruchati. This jnani will never be deluded in life. Not only is jnana the solution for the problem of sorrow, jnana is the medicine to cure moha, delusion also, confusion, conflicts in life. So naturally, with all this emphasis on knowledge, Arjuna gets the idea that I should work for knowledge. How can we get knowledge? Hey, you go study. You go in search of knowledge. So the pursuit of knowledge is presented as a remedy for the problem of samsara. However, in the middle of the second chapter, Bhagavan talks a lot about karma, karma yoga. Karmani eva adhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachane na karma palaheturbuhu mate sangostu akarmani. Don't ever give to this akarma, inaction. Yogastha kuru karmani sangam tyaktva dhananjaya. So he strongly advised Arjuna, karmani kuru, perform actions. So in the second chapter, if you look, in the beginning at the end of the chapter, knowledge is glorified. The middle portion, Lord Sri Krishna talked about karma. So Arjuna begins to wonder, what am I supposed to do now? Should I follow Jnana Yoga or should I do Karma Yoga? So do you follow Arjuna's dilemma? So the third chapter of Bhagavad Gita, which we start today, after having completed and summarized second chapter last week, we start with the third chapter, and it begins with a question from Arjuna. It is based on the teaching only. Arjuna is confused with regard to Bhagavan's teaching. Although Bhagavan was very clear, Arjuna's confusion is because of this reason. Between the two, to perform action or give up action. Not necessarily pursue knowledge, but that's an excuse. To do or not to do, to fight or not to fight. Because that action of fighting the battle is extremely unpleasant. So he is trying to just escape. So with all the glorification of knowledge that he heard, that Bhagavan provided, he sees a good escape route. Running away from fighting the war. Still he remembers what was also said. Yogastaha kuru karmani. Arjuna, you should do your duty. Which happens to be fighting this war. So Arjuna feels Bhagavan is confusing him. So he complains that he's being confused by the teacher. You are glorifying jnana as the only remedy for sorrow and conflicts in life, but contradicting yourself by advising me to act. No wonder he's confused. Not only Arjuna, many people ask this question. Is karma yoga superior or jnana yoga superior? People generally look at these two as different paths to gaining moksha. That is a common misconception. And Arjuna commits that mistake. Here only we must very clearly grasp the essence of the Shastras. We should never compare Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga and try to conclude which is better. A comparison is possible when there are options, two things are similar. You can take one or the other. Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga are not like that. If we have studied and understood the second chapter properly, we would realize that Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga are not, I repeat, are not two optional sadhanas. On the contrary, both of them are necessary for every individual. Karma Yoga is the first stage of sadhana that makes a person fit for Jnana Yoga. It's like asking if you should go and study in the primary school or the secondary school. Where should you go? You have to go to secondary school, high school, graduate from there. That is true. But you cannot jump into that. You have to go through elementary school, middle school, and all that, then only go to high school. So you cannot ask which school should I go to? Primary or secondary? The answer is both. You go to the primary school, learn the basics of reading, writing, and arithmetic. When you complete that, you move on to the secondary school. How can you go to high school before all that? So Karma Yoga will be useless if not followed by Jnana Yoga. I love my primary school. The kids are fun. So I'll just stay there. You become an elementary school teacher, that is okay. But you have to come back to primary school that way. You cannot just stay there. So you cannot stay in Karma Yoga. And this Jnana Yoga business will be impossible if not preceded by Karma Yoga. Adequate preparation will not be there. So Bhagavan had made this very clear. Yada te mohakalilam buddhirvyatitarishyati tada gandasi nirvedam. Arjuna, initially you have to go through Karma Yoga, prepare your mind. Mohakalilam vyatitarishyasi. Purify the mind first. Thus, Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga are both a must for everyone. There's no choice of one or the other. Act, purify, know, be liberated. Simple. This is the complete message of Gita. This was made clear in the second chapter. Arjuna did not listen properly, so he is confused. That is because that listening was filtered. When you listen with preconceived notions, you will not get the teaching. It will be colored with your preconceptions, with your ulterior motives. You should listen with an open mind. Then you will get the correct knowledge. Arjuna wanted to avoid karma. He did not want to fight. That was his disposition. He was predisposed to that. Bhagavan's advice about jnana is necessary, but then karma has to be done first. Arjuna conveniently skipped the first, jumped on to jnana. The greatness of Bhagavan Sri Krishna is that he did not blame Arjuna. He did not say, you did not listen properly. Did I say this in the second chapter? The greatness of the teacher is that he listens to the question as though it is a fresh and intelligent question, even though it is born out of improper listening. Bhagavan did not blame. He teaches, he gives the whole teaching all over again, elaborating the importance of Karma Yoga. Thus, you will find in chapter 3, he will expand on Karma Yoga portion. And 4th and 5th chapters also it touched upon, but the elaboration is on Jnana Yoga. So with this background, we will study Arjuna's question. First verse. Arjuna Uvacha Jayasi chet karmanaste mata buddhir janardana Jayasi chet karmanaste mata buddhir janardana Tatkim karmani ghore maam Tatkim karmani ghore maam Niyojayasi Keshava Niyojayasi Keshava Jayasi chet karmanaste Mata buddhir janardana Tatkim karmani gore maam niyojayasi Keshava. So Arjuna Uvacha. Arjuna said, Jayasi chet karmanaste. He says, O Keshava, hey Janardana, Karmanah jayasi. Here, buddhihi karmanah jayasi. Buddhihi means atmajnana, self-knowledge. Karmanah jayasi appears to be superior to karma. From your teaching, the second chapters, it appears knowledge is better than action. You praised knowledge, verses 12 through 25 talked about Atmajnana. And then you concluded the chapter talking about Sthita Prajna Lakshana elaborately. So what was said at the beginning, what was said at the end was all jnana. Therefore, I come to the conclusion that knowledge is superior to action. But then in the middle, you talked about karma. After you had glorified that knowledge and the man established in knowledge, knowledge should be pursued, would be the natural conclusion. If that is your opinion, then why are you asking, Mam Ghore Karmani Niyojasi? Why are you asking me to take to this terrible action? Instead of recommending me to go to an ashrama, gain this Atma Jnana, you are asking me to fight this battle. We all know action does not produce any knowledge. You glorify knowledge, but you are engaging me in action. And if that action is a noble action, it's a pleasant action, then it is fine. But then there are other actions which are unpleasant, like this one. Arjuna describes it as Ghore Karmani, terrible action. It involves killing Bhishma and Drona. Why do you glorify knowledge and ask me to take to this terrible action? And he continues, Vyamishrenev vakyena, Vyamishrenev vakyena, Buddhim mohayasiva me, Buddhim mohayasiva me, Tadekam vada nischitya, Tadekam vada nischitya, Yena shreyohamapnuvam, Yena shreyohamapnuvam, Vyamishreneva vakyena, Buddhim mohayasiva me, Tadekam vada nischitya, Yena shreyohamapnuvam. So Arjuna continues with the same idea. He says, Vyamishra Vakya. You are using Vyamishra, that means contradictory statements. You make statements that are confusing me because they are inconsistent. You glorify knowledge, but advise me to act. First chapter, I was confused. And to remove my confusion, I approached you. Instead of doing that, you are just adding to my confusion. I did not know whether I should fight or not. Now you have added one more confusion, whether I should pursue knowledge or perform action. So the contradictory statements that you've said confuse me. Buddhim mohayasi. You're confusing my intellect. An important word here is iva. Iva means as though, as if. He adds, you are using contradictory statements as if. That as though, as if is very important. Arjuna does not want to say that the Lord is contradicting. Because Arjuna has total faith in Bhagavan, so he is humble enough. He is okay. He has that humility. It's total faith in Bhagavan also. So he says, it appears as though you are confusing me. So he puts the blame on himself. He's confusing and so on. That is indicative of lack of faith, lack of respect for the Guru. At the same time, if we do not understand something, we should not just follow whatever the teacher says. Some clarifications are needed. We should ask the questions and get that clarity. So very politely, he tells the teacher, I am confused. Please clear my doubt. Remove my confusion. You can ask your doubts over and over again till you get the clarity. Nothing wrong. And a good teacher will remove any confusion regarding anything that you deem illogical. He will point out where you are making the mistake. There's nothing illogical in our scriptures. In fact, Brahma Sutra is a text which is a logical analysis of Upanishadic statements. Nyaya Shastra. Nyaya Shastra, logical, to bring clarity to the seeker. So Arjuna requests, Ekam vada nischitya. Tell me clearly. One, Ekam. You recommend one of these two sadhanas. Either karma, so that I'll go fight, or jnana, so that I'll quit fighting and go seek that knowledge. You're emphasizing both of them. Please tell me only one. Ekam vada nischitya. Very firmly. Please tell me. Thereby, yena, by which, by following which, Shreyaha aham apnuvam. Whatever is good, I will follow. Just tell me one thing is good. This is one thing that is good for you. You tell me very clearly, definitively. This is what it is. I will not ask any questions and follow that. I will. Most of us, we don't want to use our intellect. We don't want to think. Thinking is a tough job. Hard to do. So most people, even when they come to spirituality, they want the Guru to tell you, this is what you got to do. That's a good Guru. But Atma Jnana Guru does not do that. If you give me commandment and also keep it simple. I have only 10 fingers, 10 commandments, bus. More than that, I cannot handle. All these Shastras, Itihasas, Puranas, so many Upanishads. Oh, no. I don't have to think, I don't want to think. No. In Vedanta, we don't give commandments. We stress viveka, discrimination, which is a faculty of your intellect. The whole thing starts with that. We started studying Viveka Chudamani. The title of the book itself is Viveka. And the initial topic was this Sadhana Chatushtaya Sampatti. And the first qualification is Viveka. So, very clearly, we know where the emphasis is. So, Bhagavan wants Arjuna to use his intellect and decide for himself what course of action he should take. He does not want to just give advice or preach to him. Bhagwan is not a preacher. He is a teacher. He wants to teach him. He wants him to make his own decision. So that way he would not keep coming to him every time he has to make a decision. You have a decision to make and you don't know what to do. You go to somebody and that person advises, you do this. Then another problem comes. Again, you have to go. That may be good in this worldly transaction because that consultant wants you to come to him every time. He doesn't want to empower you with the knowledge so that he can make the decision then on. But not this teacher. So this is a very good teaching for all of us. So, Shreyaha aham apnvam, tell me what is good for me and I will do your bit obediently. I will follow your advice. I will get Shreyaha, mokshaha. Unfortunately, moksha is not through action, but through knowledge alone. So now Bhagavan responds. Shri Bhagavan uvacha Lokesmin dvividha nishta Lokesmin dvividha nishta Pura prokta maya nagha Pura prokta maya nagha Jnana yogena sankhyanam Jnana yogena sankhyanam Karma yogena yoginam Karma yogena yoginam Shri Bhagavan uvacha Lokesmin dvividha nishta Pura prokta maya naga Jnana yogena sankhyanam Karma yogena yoginam. So now Sri Krishna starts his teaching on why karma is important. This is a very important verse. This is the foundation for the third chapter. Shankaracharya quotes this verse very often in his commentary. We should understand the essence, the idea that is conveyed in this verse very well. What the scriptures point out is that there is no option at all with regard to the sadhanas. Karma Yoga sadhana and Jnana Yoga sadhana, you do not have an option. Everyone has to go through Karma Yoga first. It prepares one for the knowledge. But it will not remove the problem of samsara. So we should remember that Karma Yoga can never directly give us liberation. But at the same time, know that Karma Yoga alone can make us fit for Jnana Yoga. Jnana Yogyata Prapti. Eligibility for knowledge comes through Karma Yoga. We are all born ayogya, unfit for Jnana Yoga. Huh? How do you know? Very simple. The scriptures themselves present Jnana Yoga at the end of the Vedas. The knowledge is given in Vedanta. If you're all fit for Jnana Yoga, the Vedas should have begun with that. The Jnana Kanda is at the end of the Vedas. Shows that we have to prepare ourselves for Jnana Yoga. Of course, our very birth is because of ignorance, but all that we have seen elsewhere. So we have to prepare ourselves. Of course, there are always exceptions to this general rule. Even in the exceptional cases, the Shastra says, you come up with an example. Such a person didn't go through Karma Yoga. He went directly to Jnana. Exceptions are there, but they are exceptions. So exceptions don't make the general rule. Even in those cases, they have done yoga, just not in this birth. They had a head start, that's all. They were into a head start program, and so they came well prepared. That's all. So the fact is, every one of us require Karma Yoga first. There is no way you can skip that. Once you have prepared your mind, you should go to Jnana Yoga. I did Karma Yoga, I call it quits. That won't do it. You have to gain the knowledge, and that involves taking to Jnana Yoga. The next lesson that we should understand is that the scriptures talk about two types of lifestyles, two ashramas. In this particular verse, Bhagwan uses the word nishtha, which means ashrama or lifestyle. Shastra mentions 4, but for our discussion, we will just take 2 ashramas that are relevant for us, namely Grihastha ashrama, a householder lifestyle, and Sannyasa ashram. Brahmacharya, at an young age, you go to school, study and all that. That is study phase. That's not relevant here. And then Vanaprastha is the transition phase. So, Grihastha ashrama and Sannyasa ashrama. Scriptures point out that of these ashramas, otherwise called pravritti nishtha and nivritti nishtha. One ashrama, the grihastha ashrama, the householder's life, when you are in the family life, it is designed for karma. Not any karma, karma yoga. So grihastha ashrama is designed for karma yoga. And through that, you purify your mind. Prepare yourself for Jnana Yoga. And the other Sannyasa ashrama is designed for Jnana Yoga. So Grihastha ashrama is Karma Yoga, Karma Pradhana ashrama, activities oriented. We don't say Jnana should be avoided or unavailable or impossible for Grihasthas. We don't say that. Pradhana, predominantly Karma. You're all in Grihastha ashrama. You are coming to this class and learning. We are all learning. So, Grihastha ashrama is primarily designed for karma, karma yoga. Similarly, Sannyasa ashrama is primarily designed for knowledge. That sannyasi has to pursue knowledge primarily. Still, he may have some actions to perform. And he will talk about later how everybody has to do some action or the other. But Sannyasa ashrama is Jnana Pradhana ashrama. Once you have understood these basics with regard to these two lifestyles, we can see, we can lead our life in 3 different ways. One way visualized by the scriptures, go to Grihastha ashrama, follow Karma Yoga. When you have purified your mind, switch over to Sannyasa ashrama, follow Jnana Yoga, and be free. This is one route. The second route is go to Grihastha follow Karma Yoga, purify, continue to be in Grihastha. You need not change ashrama. You need not change clothes. You need not get out of your house. Stay there. But gradually change the emphasis. Your focus. And go to Jnana Yoga. Then be free. You will be a Grihastha Jnani. Without going to Grihastha directly go to sannyas. For a sannyasi, the karmas of a Grihastha are not available. He has to do certain other karmas, like japa, guru seva, etc. Later Bhagavan will say, yajnanam japa yajñosmi. Serving the guru also he will talk about. All that is important. It's what is indicated by danda and observation of chaturmasya, and all those activities are there for sannyasis. So sannyasis also do some karmas. With a pure mind pursue Jnana Yoga. Then he will be a sannyasi jnani. Grihastha ashrama is karma pradhan, predominantly focused on action, pravritti, but you can gain jnana. It's tough, but you can do it. Similarly, sannyasa ashrama is jnana pradhan, focus on knowledge. Some karmas are there, used for purification. So these two ashramas are there, use them appropriately. In any case, the bottom line, hey Arjuna, you need Karma Yoga. No choice between Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga. Both paths have to be followed. Karma Yoga prepares the mind, makes you fit for Jnana Yoga. Once you do both, ignorance is removed and you are liberated. So Bhagavan prescribes the steps as Karma Yoga, Jnana Yogyata, Jnana Yoga, Jnana, and finally Moksha. Arjuna did not get this message properly. And so he asked, which of the two paths should I pursue? Bhagavan does not want to command Arjuna so that he just follows blindly, but instead wants him to clearly understand and decide for himself. So he begins the teaching once again. So here Bhagavan introduces two things. One is the sadhana and the other is lifestyle. The sadhana is called yoga and the lifestyle is called nishtha. With regard to sadhana or yoga, there is no choice. Everybody needs karma yoga plus jnana yoga to get moksha. Scriptures do talk about two types of lifestyles. One is pravritti marga, which is grihastha, a life of activity. The other is nivritti marga, sannyasa, a life of withdrawal, solitude, quietude, sannyasa. So with this background, let us look at the verse. I have dvivida nishta maya prokta, prescribed two types of lifestyles. Pura, a long time back, I've talked about it. This is Bhagavan saying, where we have to add that information that is said in the Vedas. So Bhagavan says, I myself revealed these two lifestyles through the Vedas. The beginning of creation. When creation came about, Vedas also came along with that. According to our tradition, when Ishvara creates this world, simultaneously, he gives the Vedas also. It's first given to Brahmaji, and his four heads represent the four Vedas. In those Vedas, pravritti marga and nivritti marga are talked about. I am telling you the same thing now. Hey, Anagha. Anagha is another name for Arjuna. Agha means impurity or sin. Anagha, pure, without impurities. Sinless, pure. Oh, pure-minded Arjuna, I have already introduced these two lifestyles. Asmin loke, in this world, for all human beings. Sankhyanam nishtha, a lifestyle for sannyasis. And that lifestyle for them is jnana yogena, governed by commitment to knowledge only. Sannyasi does not have any duties other than his commitment to knowledge, seeking knowledge, gaining knowledge. When a person takes to sannyasa, he removes his sacred thread. He even renounces Gayatri that he took with so much reverence at the time of Upanayana. That Gayatri mantra is now simplified and converted to Om. He does not even have to spend so much time to repeat Gayatri mantra. Gayatri has 3 lines, and the 3 lines are replaced by U, and Ma. And he just chants Om. Sannyasi does not have to spend time to earn livelihood to meet his basic needs of food, clothing, and shelter. Let the sannyasi dedicate his life to study and the propagation of scriptures. A sannyasi does not even vote in an election. He's not qualified really. But we have sannyasis running governments these days, but that's a different story. Sannyasi's life is totally devoted to study and teaching. For those sannyasis, a lifestyle is designed as jnana yoga, commitment to knowledge. What about others? The Lord says, yogina, for others who are extrovert, who want to be in the society, for those active people, karma yogena. I have prescribed a life of activities called karma yoga, an active life of contribution, active life of service. So both lifestyles are there. There is no confusion. Jnana yogena sankhyanam, karma yogena yoginam. I agree. Knowledge is superior to action. I want you to gain that knowledge only. But at this moment, you are not ready to renounce everything and go seek that Atmajnana. Many seekers make this mistake. Unprepared, they leave their house, their family, go to the Himalayas and suffer there. Because their mind is not ready. They have not prepared themselves for that. They go there, they go crazy, they get derailed. All kinds of things happen. That's why Puja Gurudev says there is a field of work to prepare yourself. Even when young boys and girls come to Sandipani to study, pursue that. After the 2-year course, they are given Brahmachari Diksha. They are not sannyasis yet. They are sent to the field to work. That's all. That is Karma Yoga. Karma Yoga. So we say, when we say follow Karma Yoga, that does not mean you should not read the scriptures. That's not the point. Jnana, self-knowledge, and selfless action are not opposed to each other, nor are they substitutes. Actually, selfless action is very helpful as a preparatory step before one embarks upon knowledge full time. Take both steps to gain self-knowledge and finally reach the Parama Purushartha, which we call moksha. This is the best of the three possible routes that we can take in our journey. For most of us, we don't have that problem. We are already knee deep in Grihastha ashrama. So the only thing is, do selfless work, purify. Sooner the better, as much time for gaining this knowledge. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.